Nigeria submitted the proposition to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games. And later this month, we're going to be facing off against India to defend our bid proposition before the Commonwealth Games Committee. Now, the Commonwealth Games is a sporting event that happens once in every 4 years and brings together all member states of the Commonwealth. In that sporting tournament, you will have them play different kind of sports. Now, these countries are bound together by the fact that a huge majority of them are former British colonies. And that is the first problem here, because there are people who have asked for the essence of participating in the Commonwealth Games, not to now talk of actually hosting the Commonwealth Games, because they consider it to be a colonial relic, a way for Britain to maintain post-colonial hegemony over its former colonies. And many people say it hampers the sense of national pride and also sort of brings back the dark memories of the colonial experience. Now, beyond that, there is also the concern that if Nigeria is going to host the Commonwealth Games, we have to look at the economics of it. The last edition of the Commonwealth Games, which was hosted at Birmingham, cost more than £800 million. As a matter of fact, the edition before that, which was Gold Coast 2018, cost £1.1 billion. If Nigeria is going to be hosting it in 2030, particularly given that it's going to be the centenary edition by 2030, it is going to cost that much or maybe even more. And it becomes even a lot more concerning when you also look at the return on investment on hosting this game. Since Manchester 2002, the return on investment on hosting the Commonwealth Games has practically reduced over time. Manchester 2002 had a return on investment of about 46% thereabout, but as of Gold Coast 2018, which cost £1.1 billion, the return on investment was just about 17%. Birmingham 2022 is about 19%. And there are people who are also losing interest in watching the Commonwealth Games, in participating in the Commonwealth Games, in buying tickets to come for the sporting event. And what that would do is it is going to reduce the margin of profit that can be made from this. If Nigeria does win the bid to host the game, we're going to become the first African country to host it. Now, you have to consider the fact that for other countries who have hosted it before, these are European countries, they have more purchasing power, they have more disposable income. If we're hosting it in Africa, we don't exactly have that much purchasing power or disposable income. Usually, when we're hosting a sporting tournament like this, Nigeria usually does that without having the long-term benefit plan. In 2003, we hosted the All-African Games. Now, for us to host that tournament, we spent a lot of money on building stadiums, renovating them, upgrading them, road infrastructure, accommodation infrastructure. But if you go to Abuja today, a lot of those infrastructures are lying desolate. Now, compare that to India, which is also willing to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games. In 2010, India hosted the Commonwealth Games. And of course, they did spend a lot of money on sporting infrastructure. But what they did was they repurposed all of those infrastructure to be used after the Commonwealth Games. And as a matter of fact, if they do win this bid in 2030, they are going to host it in the state of Gujarat, in the city of Ahmedabad. A lot of the sporting infrastructure is going to be repurposed for this Commonwealth Games. And India also has a plan to host the 2034 Olympics. So they see hosting the Commonwealth Games as a dry run towards hosting the Olympic itself. Also, the memories of the 2003 All-African Games brings the fact that it was bedeviled by a lot of corruption and financial misappropriation. So there are people who are concerned that is this not just another white elephant project, a way to siphon money, award inflated contracts, and just expended money that we don't have. And there's also the question of priorities. We are a country bedeviled by a lot of socioeconomic challenges. Inflation, cost of living crisis, the state of our health sector is nothing to write home about. Our education system is dilapidated. So really, if we can dedicate that much amount of money to want to host the Commonwealth Games, how about we repurpose that money to spend on our education system, on our health sector, on paying off our debt, on beating down inflation? Right? So my question to you is, what side of the divide would you be tilting to? There's the national pride that comes with hosting a tournament like that, positioning ourselves as a sporting powerhouse, the giant of Africa, and it does bring some prestige. Would you choose that prestige, or would you say that we should rearrange our priorities? Not now.